Hello all, and happy Casual Friday to all, and welcome back to another exciting Taco Talk. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge the blood sacrifices made by our donors. Moment complete. Thank you very much, donors. Remember, Taco Talks is only possible because of viewers like you. Thank you. It is common knowledge that all crustaceous life was delivered to our planet via crystal-encrusted pods that entered the atmosphere in 1996. For you youngsters out there, this was the most notable event of the 90s, second to the debut of Dentistry and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. While most crustaceans were unable to survive in the high levels of radioactivity in our oceans, crabs used it to their advantage. But more on that later. First, what is a crab? Crabs are defined as anything with 6 legs, 2 claws, a shell, and an enhanced flavor when coated in butter. The first attempt to eat a crab was made by Jollywog Beardface, a New England sailor with a taste for seafaring adventure. He is also historically relevant due to his discovery of Australia and in the cookbooks for his famous dish, the hot dog. It is said that in his prime, Jollywog could fit 12 hot dogs in his mouth. Now that's a lot of wieners. Sadly, though, the culinary master would not live long after this feat, as his foray into crustacean consumption would be his downfall. In 1997, Jollywog Beardface would be the first human to attempt to eat this new extraterrestrial creature. After a cooking process lasting 436 hours, the sailor would finally feast upon crab flesh. But Jollywog would not make it to hour 437, as the crab would rapidly melt his innards until they were nothing but icky goo. Relatives told the press that his last words were, "Needs butter." On Earth, crabs spend most of their time scuttling across rocky shorelines, snatching up unsuspecting moose and dragging them down to a watery grave. However, as stated previously, our oceans are toxic waste dumps. Crabs, as the only being hardy enough to withstand this deadly radiation, have evolved small but fully functional wings in place of the fins they once possessed. This frightening display of adaptability has expanded their known prey to creatures such as eagles and airplanes. Now that the crabs are airborne, there's really nothing any of us can do to stop them from overthrowing the powers that form the very fabric of our society. But do not fear, for crabs have also developed a species-wide case of crippling social anxiety and are far too easily embarrassed to leave the ocean's edge. Ranging between 8 to 20 meters in length, crabs are superior to humans in both size and intelligence. It is said that consuming their flesh will grant you evolutionary perfection. However, all those who have attempted have died in said attempt. So we're kind of just guessing on that one. While these awkward giants may be shy, they remain one of the most dangerous of all known sea monsters. Their bulletproof plating makes them nearly impossible to harm. Their claws are strong enough to crush oil tankers and even Lego bricks. The legs plus gills plus wings combination allows them to maneuver all terrains. Again, it is truly fortunate to all other life that these creatures are so anxious and easily embarrassed. The only known way to kill one is by telling it that its shirt is inside out. Crabs, to our knowledge, do not wear clothes, but the mere idea of doing something so embarrassing will likely be enough to send it into cardiac arrest. In addition to the vast arsenal of destruction that crabs possess, crabs are also equipped with 2 eyes. In addition to being used for normal eye-related tasks, the eyes also serve as the sex organ of the crab. Crab scientist Itichi Pantaro first observed the crab mating ritual in 1999 while trying to preserve Japan's dwindling moose population. Pantaro writes of the moment when the 2 crabs look at each other from neighboring rocks. Because they are too shy and anxious to approach one another right away, the crustaceous beasts will exchange a series of glances back and forth, sometimes for months on end. Eventually, another crab will nudge its friend closer to the potential mate. The process continues as the first crab makes up excuses for why it needs to go home early. Eventually, the mating pair of crabs will be nudged close enough that it would be more awkward and embarrassing not to communicate with each other. Only then will they clasp claws and ascend into the sky. The actual mating process is still unknown, but Pantaro reports that after about 24 hours, eggs will rain down into the water. Each one is about the size of a cantaloupe, Pantaro claims, so bring a heavy-duty umbrella if you are planning on observing the crab mating ritual firsthand. However, since none of this is actually proven, Atichi Pantaro is being held in a high-security prison, awaiting at least one other witness to corroborate his testimony and acquit him of being a liar, liar, pants on fire, which, as you know, is the most heinous crime of all. A final fascinating fact about crabs is the planet from which they originally hail. Using the power of super-duper mega-lens telescopes, we can observe the crustacean-filled planet and the social hierarchy of the crab homeworld. As far as scientists are able to tell, the reason crabs are so anxious and awkward is that they are the losers of their planet. Big old nerds, really. Reports of regular bullying are commonly noted, lobsters being the primary antagonists. This discovery has explained why the typically docile and skittish crab is so aggressive towards earth lobsters, typically stealing the lobster's lunch money and giving it a wedgie before devouring it whole. So, there you have it. All the information we have been able to collect about the shy monsters that roam our ocean's floor. If you yourself are a crab watching this, we hope you were not too embarrassed by any of these facts. But even if you were, we can all sleep soundly knowing you are far too awkward to voice your discomfort, let alone seek any sort of revenge. Thank you again for coming to our Taco Talk, and have a wonderful Casual Friday. Toodles!